start off with the basics. What exactly is a major seventh chord?
So when I first learned the major seven chord, what really helped me understand it was taking what would be a simple bar chord. So like if we have C, you have, C, G, and C, or your first finger on the first dot and your third finger and pinky finger on the second dot. And then you just take that pinky and you substitute it for your middle finger on what would be the fourth fret. And so what happens is you just get like this new color. Like this is like, okay, guitar. This is like, oh, heaven. You know what I'm saying? It's just like smoothens up the whole thing right there. So yeah, bar chords, and then you just change that to that. And there you have it.
Beautiful. It is a new color, and it is there is an easy way to make it happen. As we just saw, you use three notes. You changed one of them from a regular chord, and that's how we constructed the major seventh chord. So we'll be digging into that into the show. Now, can you obviously you demonstrated the difference between a major chord and a major seventh chord? Can you give us a few other positions of the neck, or other demonstrate the difference between a regular chord and a major seventh chord again?
Yeah. So again, if we have C, if we expand this chord like our regular cage C, you can then remove your first finger and just let that ring out. That's probably actually the easiest place you'll find it, like on the guitar. You can just like play these two notes and sound like a boss,
And only
like
because
a suave boss.
A suave boss, of course, basso suave. Only because your microphone stand was covering up your fret hand in that instance.
Snap.
So, but
yes.
But yeah, it's there. You go. Yeah, just C chord like this. Lord knows there's probably something covering my fret. And then the first finger off of the first fret of the B string, but I'm going to play the open B string, as was what Justus is doing, and you get this. So we can actually build them from our open caged chords. Now, Justus, we're going to be showcasing this chord in action throughout the episode, but can you give us a taste of major seventh chords in context? Can you play a song?
Oh, yes. I'm going to play one of my favorites, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye.
Sweet.
All right. Some love in you. picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Yeah. Come and talk to me so you can see, yeah, what's going on. Yeah, what's going on. Hey, what's going on. Yeah, 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 what's going on.
Absolutely
Yes.
lovely, lovely. Thank you. What a great way to start off the year
you.
here with a performance like that. So, could you just point out though for us which chords of all those you're playing, which ones were the major seventh?
We got C here. C is just like, it's the chord.
It's the people's chord. Okay. There you
Yes. And that is my major seven that I kind of used all throughout the song.
go. Right.
Another great way to play it is you can even play it up there, which is how I kind of set up that ending. You know, so major seven just opens up that color palette to then express even deeper an idea, you know. With a song like this one, the contrast of the lyrics of talking about, you know, being kind to one another and treating each other nice, that major seven chord almost adds the coloring of the songwriting, you know. So like the chord literally supports the message of the song by making it smooth, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, nice and open, nice and evocative use of songwriting. We already have a question, which I'm glad to say, and I'm going to actually have Dylan answer these. This is coming to us from YouTube. Adam Resendez wants to know what makes it a seventh chord, and Adam Manzarez, I think I said that right, asks what makes them seventh. Where do these numbers come from? Dylan, who put these numbers in our chords here, buddy?
Well, Pythagoras initially, but it's been a while since he really did. In fact, he named all the modes after islands near Crete, but we won't go quite that far back.
Phrygian okay.
Yeah, so we'll stay a little bit closer to this century. Anyways,
Please.
Why is it a seventh? What is going on here? So in the musical alphabet, there are 7 letters: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, right? Okay, so in the key of A major chord would have the notes A, let me get playing for you here, A, C sharp, and E. Okay, so A, C, and E are 1, 2, 3, A, C sharp, E. So that's 1, 3, and 5, right? Well, the seventh would end up being the note G sharp or G. So we
If you
have
continued counting up, yeah.
we would end up at the seventh. So we have A, C sharp, E, and then G sharp. And that's why it's called a seventh chord. And when you go up past that, you get into ninths and 11ths and so on.
Well,
so
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Go ahead.
if you went past that 7,
yeah,
in that case, you are keep counting at 8. You're at
at
your
8.
octave, hence
Yes.
octave. So there is a way to kind of contextualize this using some math, but that is why. Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's why we have a number in our chord because we're
and that's
we're
what I'll
counting the
say.
scale.
Even in my own career, like that just helps so much. Just like when you see 7 there, you just take the note of the chord you're trying to play. So if it's a D, you start at D and you just count 7 notes up the scale, and there you have it, you know. And even with ninths and 11ths and stuff that we're going to get to later, you know, I'm sure you guys are going to cover all the stuff that people want to know.
We do a show every week. We will get it all done, I promise.
And one thing, last thing I want to say on this, you guys, is that if you are like completely confused about any of this, Fender Play is the resource for you to go to. So if you type in major 7th chord, 7th, even just begin to spell the word 7th, it'll just pop right. It'll just be a million results. So this is going to demystify all this for you by going to the site. This is kind of a primer. Fill in the blanks at the site if you're even just a tad bit interested or you want to jump into the deep end on this. It's there.
And, you know, again, that is kind of the high level rundown in a way. But personally, I think it's easier to think of them as just a 1-note change in a major chord. Again, you know, if I'm playing an A major chord here, just our open one right there, I find my root, the octave of it in this case, and I play that down half a fret, and I have a major 7 chord. Now, let's dive into the fun stuff, though, and talk about how they sound and why you should add them into your playing arsenal. Justus, how would you describe, you started to mention it earlier, the sound of the major 7th chord. Let's just kind of talk about the feeling that it gives us.
Yeah. I think that the sound of the major chord definitely changes in context. And so it can be a happy smooth or a solemn smooth. And so just even exemplifying that, like if we go one major 7 chord to another, so let's say C major 7 to G major 7. Oh, actually, let's go F. C major 7, I don't even know, to F. And that's like smooth, happy, you know? You know, that's just like, that sounds like, you know, some love and Valentine's Day and stuff.
Kittens.
You know, but if you go minor, you know, so let's say we go like A minor to C major 7. Then it's kind of like, okay, so like putting it next to minor chords and just trying out different combinations is where you'll get the different tones. But the overall is just, it's smooth and it's got emotion.
Yeah.
You know, oh, go ahead.
No. Please, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just like, a regular major chord is just like inherently happy. Like you just play like, it's just like, yes. This one gives you some room to kind of like give a new kind of painting, you know what I'm saying? A new kind of picture. So
yeah, it seems like it's the best of both worlds, of that major and that minor in a way. Now, and what genres use the major 7th chord?
Really everything, man. I used to think it was just jazz until I started listening to R&B, and I'd be like, oh, Marvin Gaye or Curtis Mayfield or Aretha Franklin, or even like the Doobie Brothers, or like you can just go through, like major 7s are everywhere. But then even like in country music, you know, like when they're really again trying to paint a story, they'll use like all regular major chords and then get to the bridge and then be like, oh, major 7. And you're just like, oh, it just kind of sits a certain way.
Absolutely.
Even in rock, same thing, you know, just like further getting the story out there. I definitely believe that, you know, every time we all pick up an instrument, even if we're not playing a song, you know, we have our own stories as musicians, and naturally we play our story, you could say. And so I think it's just awesome to have chords like the major 7 to then expand your story out more as you go through your journey as a player.
You just watched a preview of Fender Play's Mastering the G, C, and D chords collection. Click the link to learn more about guitar chords, then put your skills to use by learning to play the songs you love. The Fender Play app offers a completely customizable learning experience for anyone who wants to learn to play guitar, bass, or ukulele. And you can track your progress while you learn to play using over 3,000 lessons and innovative practice features like our chord challenge, backing tracks, and weekly gear giveaways. Click the link to sign up for your free trial of Fender Play today. No credit card required.